Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. It is Monday, December 18th, just after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to check in on Bitcoin, the crypto stocks, which are having a really good day today, and then we'll look at some of the altcoins. We'll talk about some of the things that we talked about in the last live stream on Friday, and then we'll have a big party. So first things first, Bitcoin tightening daily range. So after the sucker punch, which was the big flush down and liquidated some of those overconfident longs, we knew a daily lower high was the most likely scenario. We then shaped up that daily lower high, and the question that we have for this week is, can the bears confirm the daily downtrend into weekly consolidation now that the bulls are ready to fight? Because again, the sucker punch catches the bulls by surprise. The bulls are ready to fight. We bounce for a few days. The bears push back. It's just a straight up battle. And what's going on as that battle is going on is the scales of supply and demand are just doing this. And that's what equilibriums are. And we eventually reach a spot in the equilibrium where they're balanced, and then one side breaks or the other side breaks. So at this point in time, we have the Bitcoin bulls trying to shape up the daily higher low, and we will have to confirm the 4-hour uptrend to do so. And the bulls are hoping that this shapes up as a 4-hour inverse head and shoulders to confirm the 4-hour uptrend to set a daily higher low. Aggressive bulls were playing 4-hour oversold bounces off of daily supports. So we had a number of altcoins hitting first 4-hour oversold in a while, and daily supports were in play. And so Bitcoin, 40.1 thousand was support. We held it by $350 here on Coinbase. And so again, aggressive bulls having a level to play off of. I personally am a patient bull where I'm looking to reload the rest of my swing position that I sold in the 40,000s. I'm waiting for weekly consolidation. If we don't get it, I will just buy this equilibrium breaking bull, and it will not be the price that I want it at. But one thing that I do in these bull markets, and specifically 2017, 2021, is I rebuy higher than I sell just fine. I don't mind doing that at all. Because what I was doing in 2017 was, selling a bit, and then the bulls, and this was when we were in, very illiquid extremes, just shooting straight up. And I was not going to be holding the top, but I'd sell some. The bulls would give us a new support level, give me a new level to play off of. Okay, I'm back in, even though it's a little bit higher than I sold. That's now my stop level. And as long as we kept going up and holding those key levels, then I kept profiting. So again, it's, had I just held through the move up, I would have made more, but that's also assuming I would have sold exactly at the top, which I would never put that expectation on myself. So I'm being patient here, but aggressive bulls had a nice play. And it's all about the 4-hour. Confirm the 4-hour uptrend, daily higher low set. Then we look for a lower high, anything under 43.5 thousand, and we would look for a tightening range into the end of this week. And then, of course, we would, if we do tighten up here, we know volatility will be coming maybe right around Christmas. And that volatility comes when the equilibriums break. So, crypto stocks. MARA, big time bull move today. I've been trading them in both directions today. Obviously, the bulls have had significant favor. Riot has been weaker, so sometimes I'll short Riot. If I'm looking long MARA. And MARA is breaking weekly resistance. We broke it only by 3 pennies, but we just hit the highest level that we've seen in 7 months. So V-shaped bounce for the bulls to get back to the summer highs, and now a lack of resistance. That's the key. We have a lack of resistance here. We're looking at psychological levels, 20, 21, etc. Because going back here, we don't have much. I'm looking at 2209 is a tiny level that stands out. Nothing very significant, but not much else nearby. So we have tons of space for a daily higher low. It's hourly backburner on watch. We'll look for first hourly oversold conditions to set a daily higher low. We got tons of space for an hourly higher low. I definitely sold my hourly consolidation entries much too early. Was not expecting the V-shaped nature of the NASDAQ and MARA. And I had some really good entries for that hourly higher low, but sold them much too soon. So a little bit of a lesson to myself. Leave a runner You jerk. And we're going to look for a 15-minute higher low next consolidation. So again, just bulls in absolute complete control. Now it's just a question of, can Bitcoin set the daily higher low, follow through for a couple of days to help this MARA breakout and to see fresh highs? Other names, Riot, as I mentioned, is clearly weaker, but it is breaking out as well. But look at the high of the summer, 2065. We're not close to hitting that level. So MARA divided by Riot shows us that MARA has been way stronger over the last month plus. Coin, also holding on just fine. Gap down open. Guess what we hit pre-market? Hourly oversold. That was a good time to buy. That's now the third time in a row where hourly oversold has marked a longer-term higher low. The last 3 daily higher lows have been hourly oversold. 2 of them were gap down opens. So bulls keeping control on the daily there. Again, not as strong as MARA, but definitely still strong, and we're testing the recent high of 154.74. So long story short, crypto stocks still very strong overall. No red flags whatsoever. Backburners on watch. Plenty of space to be looking for higher lows. ETH. So ETH is weaker than Bitcoin. We did drop to a daily lower low, but no follow through. We know bear breaks with no follow through means zoom out and scout a potential flag. So a weekly bull flag is on the table for ETH. Same thing as far as bulls need to regain a 4-hour uptrend if we're going to call this a daily bear break with 0 follow through. And then we'll see if the bulls are able to shape up that weekly higher low sooner rather than later. We know if Bitcoin breaks into weekly consolidation, that ETH is likely to get another leg down as well. ETH BTC, we don't have to do any analysis here because we have our clear line in the sand on the 12-hour. If this is resistance, nothing is changing. And we've now rejected for the last week since we started watching this level. And again, it's just a visual guide. If it's resistance, nothing changes. Bitcoin's the better bull than ETH. And that remains the case. And again, the pattern has been spike and fade. And now we got a new spike and fade. One-day spikes are great. They're not enough to change things. We have to see trend changes. We have to see follow through. So ETH BTC still weak. In the last live stream, I talked about a bonk hourly equilibrium. It was an aggressive hourly equilibrium trade that I made, stopped out of that. And honestly, I was flipping bonk a bit on some of these oversold bounces. And I just was having more fun than I've had trading crypto in a while. It reminded me of Litecoin and ETH, how they used to trade in 2017 with the massive volatility. But here's where I stopped out, just the clear equilibrium bear break. And at this point for bonk, we're going to be looking for a daily higher low. We had an hourly falling wedge break bull, but bulls were unable to follow through from that. This was the hourly falling wedge that a number of us were keeping an eye on. And so we ended up getting a 25% bounce, but could not confirm the 4-hour uptrend. So bears still in full control, daily stair-step drop, keeping an eye on daily EMA 12, but obviously the top's in for now. We're going to look for a daily higher low, then we're going to look for a daily lower high. But I was just having some fun with some friends in the chat room, scalping some junk coins. We also, in the last live stream, talked about a mana short trade idea, where I was talking about, there's a lot of names looking for daily lower highs, and if you're wanting to hedge, you're looking for bearish positions where daily lower highs are the most likely scenario. And then we zoomed in, and at that point in time, it was right about here, and I was saying, okay, well, it's a straight pullback, so what I would need to see is a 4-hour bounce, then you scout the lower high, you put your stop over the high, and you say, that's either the daily lower high, or I'm wrong. And so that ended up being a really nice short, where, even if you're short at 50 cents, the reward is 10% to the downside. The risk was maybe 4%. So you're risking 2 pennies to the upside if you short at 50 cents, and you get 5+ pennies to the downside. And now we have the daily downtrend confirmed on the weaker altcoins into weekly consolidation. And there were a number of coins that were hitting 4-hour oversold conditions into daily support. So I don't have the list of who they were off the top of my head here. DOT. So DOT got to 4-hour oversold, daily support 736. Nope, daily support was 626. We held that support by 10 pennies. So one thing I posted in the chat room was, if I'm looking for 4-hour oversold bounces, I'm much more comfortable with a name that has a nearby support. There's a whole bunch of setups out there. There's plenty of bear setups and plenty of bull setups. DOT is now going to be watching for a daily head and shoulders. If we confirm a 4-hour uptrend, there's a lot of space for a daily lower high, and we'll see if the bears can confirm that downtrend into weekly consolidation. But again, we got a really good mix of crypto setups right now. It's one thing when everybody's doing the same thing, but that's not the case right now. RNDR, daily EMA 12, has been consistently holding week after week, trying to hold that again. 4-hour oversold. Nope, didn't quite get there. Take that back. RNDR was not one of the names getting the 4-hour oversold conditions. Sol's a potential daily head and shoulders. Again, anything that's a weekly stair step still. Higher low every single week for 10 weeks in a row. We know weekly consolidation will be inevitable at some point. We're just watching to see, can bears shape up some head and shoulders to roll over into weekly consolidation or not? Some other altcoins, Link's been getting trashed recently. Link's going to have to be cautious of a longer term head and shoulders, 3-day time frame. So keep an eye out on these head and shoulders. There's a whole bunch of them. Who else did I want to look at? Matic. Matic's got a nice weekly equilibrium, or 3-day. You know, whatever time frame you find more detail or clarity. High, low, lower high. Another name heading into daily support, 72 cents. Holds by about 3.5 pennies. Can the bulls shape up the 3-day higher low to continue tightening? So that's the question in the short term over the next 24 hours. Can 4-hour uptrends confirm to hold some daily supports for Bitcoin to form the daily equilibrium, and for a lot of these altcoins to set a daily higher low and tighten up as well? $54 likes. I'd like some more of those, please. XRP. So XRP, 3-day time frames, a tightening range here. Probably better on the weekly. So yeah, just a weekly equilibrium. Clearly one of the weaker coins. You know, very few names are testing 2-month lows. I mean, if Bitcoin were testing 2-month lows, we'd be way lower. But lower high is set, and bulls are defending 57.25 here, just barely. We've got to confirm the 4-hour uptrend to have any confidence that that support can hold. If that level breaks, that's a monthly lower high being set. So we're on the verge of setting a monthly lower high in XRP. And in our weaker coins, like Litecoin, we're scouting monthly lower highs. Litecoin monthly lower high is the most likely result of this bounce. We're rejecting from EMA 12. And we have a weekly head and shoulders to be keeping an eye on. So don't forget, on some of these altcoins, that the longer term most likely scenario is a monthly lower high. The white noise is a space heater. I'm chilly. I used to suffer and be cold for perfect noise, but I'm not that guy anymore. Oh, there's an echo. That's different than white noise. Thank you. Sorry about that. Kava. So Kava is another name with a ton of space for a monthly lower high to be the result of this bounce. 3-day time frame, potential head and shoulders. It would confirm if we break 717. So I'm viewing this as the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder is already forming. Bulls are defending the neckline. The That's a very important support of 717. Again, if we're going to hold it, we've got to confirm a 4-hour uptrend. The most likely result of the current bounces that we have underway are 4-hour lower highs across the board for many names. So we've got to confirm 4-hour uptrends over the next 24 hours, as I mentioned. INJ, we're looking for a daily higher low, right? Daily higher low set. So now key support is 28.32, and we're just looking back up to the high 34.64. It stands out for its relative strength compared to Bitcoin the past couple of days. And it was hourly oversold. Nope, front run. So it didn't quite get to hourly oversold for the daily higher low, which is another sign of strength. If you're not even getting to oversold conditions, we know hourly oversold to set a daily higher low is very strong. If you're not even getting to hourly oversold, it's even stronger. So again, I love when you have a chart like this where it's, oh man, where's our stop? Where's our support? We're feeling a little bit exposed because of how hard we ran up. And then as soon as you have a new level, you can move your stop loss up. You got a new benchmark. Simple statement. If this level is holding, bulls don't have a thing to worry about. It's almost like let's see, if you're a rock climber and you're moving your anchor, I don't know much about rock climbing, but you're moving your anchor up that's attached to the rock. It's almost like your progress point. I'm not sure, the question is, MARA is at its summer highs. Do we look for the other names to play laggard catch up? Maybe. I won't say that's a bad idea to look for it, but just remain skeptical. Make the bulls prove it. We have to see signs of a shift. We have to see signs that MARA is weakening compared to Riot, because if not, even though Riot's up at its highs, it's the better bull. Riot today is outperforming, MARA today is outperforming Riot 2-1 in terms of the percentage move. As long as that keeps up, you're better off just playing the lead bull. When that starts to shift, then you look to the laggards. So we have to see the Riot divided by MARA chart show us some kind of bottom. I would expect a short-term bounce here sooner rather than later because we're in free fall, but we have to see it. This is the weakest that Riot has been compared to MARA in 10 months. So the market is clearly choosing MARA as the bull. And again, this chart will eventually bounce on the daily. We just got to be good with our timing. There's two ways that this chart can bounce. Both of them are dropping, and MARA is dropping harder, or Riot plays laggard catch-up on the long side. I don't pay attention to CME gaps in crypto, and that doesn't mean don't pay attention to CME gaps. I've just never found it as something that I need to be doing. I've never gotten useful information off of it. I just stick with the price levels, and if we confirm downtrends or break a support, I look at the next price level support. And in stocks, I definitely do use gaps just as little targets. If there's nothing nearby, I'll look at the gap. So I guess we could say that's a use case for gaps in crypto. If there's no clear support or resistance nearby, you can look to the gap fill to act as almost a synthetic support if we're dropping back to a gap fill. But I personally have not put too much time into gaps in crypto. At what point do you take a meme coin seriously? I never do. Never, ever. I honestly, the one way that I am different than most people trading stocks and crypto is, to me, everything's a meme coin. And I know Bitcoin changed the world. I hope so. But my mindset is it's all flashing numbers, digital numbers that can be gone in the blink of an eye. I lock in my profit, I protect my positions, and they're all meme coins to me. So for me, there's no, as soon as I start thinking about real world value, and that word value is so vague and ambiguous and subjective. But as soon as I start thinking about that, it's almost like for me, it's almost like a bag holder mindset. Because I used to, back in the day, I'd get stuck in a name because I didn't have a stop loss, and then I'd start doing fundamental research to help making me feel better about bag holding. And like, oh, well, maybe it'll recover because, we've got 37 stores and, things are on the up and up. It's just all the same to me. All these altcoins, they might as well all be meme coins. So I don't ever take them seriously. If you want to, get risk-free and leave a runner and hope for a home run, that's fine. Just protect your, initial capital. But again, if you just look at, what's the probability that I pick a fundamental winner? It's just so low. Is there a correlation between Bitcoin and QQQ? Sometimes it comes and goes, but for me, I use it more sentiment. I don't look for a correlation. I don't pull the charts up and look at them, but I look at the NASDAQ and saying, oh, we're daily stair step number 9 or whatever it is. And the bulls are in complete control. There's no red flag. That makes me more confident being bullish crypto stocks. That makes me more confident being bullish crypto. They definitely disconnect plenty, but for me, it's just a macro sentiment guide. Because we know the next time we see any fear in the stock market, it's been a very long time since we've seen it, but the next time we see fear in the stock market, it will likely negatively impact crypto, in my opinion, just because it's been a while. And everybody's going to say, oh, just like that sucker punch. The broader market will eventually get a sucker punch drop, and then we'll just look for a weekly high or low. Same as Bitcoin. It's just when everybody gets complacent and comfortable, that's when you get oh yeah, I forgot we can go down. JTO for Corey Gold. If this is going to be a 4-hour falling wedge, we got to bounce right now. So it's not developed enough for me to be confident to buy. It's 4 hour. It's a 4-hour back burner. So again, it's all little pieces of the puzzle when we're establishing a trade game plan. So I could want to look long because it's a 4-hour back burner, and then I could say, okay, well, I can draw this downtrend support, and this is another little piece of the puzzle that could lead to a successful bullish entry. So if we start the 4-hour bounce from here, essentially when I draw a wedge, I want to see my lines that I draw come into play and hold to tell me, yeah, I'm onto something. So with this support needs to hold, and then if we bounce and reject from resistance, then we'll say, great, this is a very clear pattern that we should definitely continue to keep an eye on. All right, just a couple more requests here. Oh man, it's already 2:58. Got to do stock market stream here. So FET, daily high or low trying to form. Daily EMA 12 support. We got to hourly oversold. That didn't mark the bottom. So that's a little bit of a red flag. Again, we know that ideally we wanted that hourly oversold to mark the 12-hour high or low. MARA over 20 now. More conviction and follow through. Man, I had a fat position in the mid-18s. We're looking for a 12-hour lower high because of the size of this pullback. And the question will be, is it an equilibrium, or can the bears confirm the 12-hour downtrend? And we've already got a big enough bounce where 50% plus bounce retracement, right around 50%. So an equilibrium is possible. So I'd be watching how we tighten up here on the 12-hour range or 12-hour time frame. All right, I got to wrap it up here. A couple more questions. How do I deal with entering a trade? It starts working and then I get stopped out and the trade goes on without me. It's going to happen. Again, the analogy is if you're a poker player, how many times, well, I guess it depends on how much you play. The amount of times I've lost with pocket aces all in pre-market, the best hand you can possibly have pre-market, still lose. But that doesn't change anything about what I do. You accept, oh, that happens sometimes, and the next time I get pocket aces, I'll go all in pre-flop every single time because the probabilities are in our favor. And so you know that if you play poker enough and you rack up thousands of hands, that happens to you a handful of times. It's not like a really rare thing. I can remember in my head losing $100 online poker with pocket aces to pocket kings. At this point, I'm literally talking over 15 years ago, 17 years ago. I know where I was sitting. I know my buddy who was next to me, and I know the hand, exactly how it played out. It's stuck in my memory. That's just how it goes. It's just part of the game. Sauna plans are coming along. I'm starting with a cold plunge. Gonna dip my toe in before diving into an expensive sauna. No red flags on MARA. We're going to look for an hourly high or low on next 5-minute oversold conditions. We're going to look for a daily high or low next hourly oversold conditions. I mean, retrace over 50% this most recent daily bull move. That's a red flag. Because that would mean hourly back burner did not mark a high or low. HUT is definitely not looking better than MARA. If you look at HUT divided by MARA, you will see that it is collapsing. Today it's better. So, okay, there's a first sign, right? So, okay, are we starting to play laggard now? Get over 13 tomorrow, and we got something in terms of a laggard shift. So, so today, if you're talking about today, yes, HUT looks better than MARA. Not bigger picture. Got to specify time frame. But again, you look at Riot divided by MARA, and we're at the low. Whereas HUT divided by MARA, we can say there is a shift taking place. Now, how significant is that shift going to be? We can't say. We'll have to see. But because MARA is breaking resistance, it definitely is giving confidence to other names. It's the same thing that goes on in the stock market. You know, the NASDAQ and the Magnificent 8 lead the way up, and then, oh man, we're going to all-time highs. Let's go in all the names that haven't run yet. And it happens, you know, intersector as well on all sectors do that. So it is worth watching for. And yes, HUT has shifted today. Let's see if that can keep up. We got to treat this just like a trend. You know, we need to see this confirm a daily uptrend for us to say, yes, there is a significant amount of rotation going on with HUT benefiting. News definitely helps. All right, I got to run. Live streaming for the chart guys here. I appreciate you all tuning in. We'll check back in soon. Again, 4-hour uptrend for the daily high or low into a daily tightening range for Bitcoin. Burden on bulls on the 4-hour time frame. Do good things.